Yeah. So, welcome, friends. I'm so glad that you're here. Happy Tuesday. What a perfect day to be together on this rainy spring summer afternoon to be gathering and be curious. Um, I'm actually feeling so curious about what's in my body this week because I've been navigating an injury. And I think that when we're in some ways, we're always navigating an injury, whether it's past or present, right? Or future. So I think that's actually just a really beautiful opportunity for us to be like, how will this body ask me to adapt this practice that I know so well, right? Because I've never done the practice in this body that I have today. And you've never done your devotional movement practice in the emotional and mental and physical landscape that you're in this moment. So it is all at once completely new and deeply known, right? And what a gift it is to be able to sort of navigate between those two spaces. So if it feels right for you, I just invite you to find a seat or an asana of some kind that feels restful to you. Restful enough that your body can be doing less efforting and more communicating. And just notice what happens when you purposefully send all of these little pathways in the brain that are often pinging outside of yourselves to check out. What happens if you let them explore the periphery a little bit? If there are sounds of the world around you or smells or feels, just taking note of what's in your immediate peripersonal space right around you. And then notice where that outside close space meets your skin. Where does your pillow meet underneath your seat? Where does the earth encounter your root? Where does the air around you encounter your skin layer? And what does that connection point feel like? If it could talk to you, what would it tell you about what sort of texture you're surrounded by here? Is it a buzz? Is it a hum? Is it a cloud that you melt into? Is it a trellis that's holding you up and supporting you from underneath? And letting your awareness melt deeper in to the space right on the inside of your skin, where your skin meets your internal world. And then noticing what it's like to let your attention start to draw a little bit more tightly in towards the center, the core of you, the fluid core along the length of your spine, along the center of your leg, right through your belly. Just giving yourself a little space to feel the connectivity of all these different layers of being. It may be that through your practice, these different layers are communicating with each other. So maybe just saying a little prayer here to sort of welcome in the wisdom of the different languages that these layers speak. And we can get curious about how they make themselves heard. And when you feel ready, you might bring your hands together at your center in some way, over your heart, above your head, at your root. And choosing whether you'd like a big breath in and out or a big breath in into your Om. And find your way to child's pose. If that's not the right place to begin, you know how to find your way towards where your body needs to go. Deep, full breaths once you get there. If you want, you could take the knees really wide here. If you like a little twist, you can walk your hands over to the right and over to the left. Just moving in your own timing. Let your heart melt down towards the earth in whatever shape you're in a little bit. Give your shoulders a little space to soften. If it feels good, you can lift up for puppy dog pose, tush up in the air, melting your heart down towards the earth. Or a rabbit pose, knees together, cup your heels with your hands and round forward onto the crown of your head. And our mantra today, our affirmation today is, I've got all the time I need, right? So with every transition, with every movement, just reminding yourself that you've got more time than often the brain tricks us into thinking. And does that give you some space? Good. Whenever you're ready, you're going to make your way up to tabletop position. Take the time that you need to get there. And spread your fingers wide. Spread your toes on the mat. We're going to start to make big circles. So you're bringing your weight forward into the wrists and the fingers a little bit, and then circling back and around. Take your time. You can drop your tush a little back and down, drop your hips a little down and forward at the front. And when you feel like that direction has gone enough times, you'll switch and circle around the other way. Feel into the power of your hands rooting when you come forward. Yeah, feel your chest broad. Rise back up to tabletop position. Walk your hands a little bit forward. Tuck your toes and lift your hips for downward facing dog. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Lift your right leg up and back into the sky. And then slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. Up on your fingertips, inhale, lengthen your spine, gaze out. Exhale, straighten your leg, pyramid pose. Walk your hands back a little if you need to. You could curl your right toes back. Let your head hang heavy here. And then you're going to slowly rebend your front knee, drop your back knee to the earth, sweep your arms up for a little lunge. You could interlace your fingers, press the heels of your hands up towards the sky, or any other variation that feels right. Feel that net of support at your pelvic floor lift up just a little bit to help your spine lengthen. Take a big breath in here. On your exhale, you're going to bow forward a bit, sweep your hands back, tuck your back toes, airplane pose. Find the earth, press down into it, and lengthen. Well, we were going to go to chair pose, but Theo's at my feet. So we're going to come up to standing instead. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Good, and then interlace fingers underneath your left thigh. Stretch your left heel forward. I don't know about you, but I can feel myself leaning way to one side and the other side. So notice how the body is trying to autocorrect here. Drop the weight of your leg into your arms. Feel your shoulders drop. Good, and then maybe arms up. Point your toe. Take a big breath in. Slowly, standing splits. Swan dive forward. Hands down to the earth. Good. Gently step your left foot all the way back. Hands to the mat. Three-legged dog, right leg up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hips. You can take this into flip dog if it feels like the right timing. If your body needs to warm up a little bit more, stay right here. Reach up and back with your right kneecap. Good. Right leg up and back into the spine. Right knee to left tricep underneath your body. And then thread it underneath you for fallen triangle. Long through your side body. Take a big inhale. You're going to drop your tush all the way to the floor. Okay, so my right leg is out to the side. I'm going to take my right arm, and it's going to help me slide all the way down onto my side. I'm going to reach my left arm up. Clasp right fingertips around left wrist. So you're clasping the top wrist. Lengthen as you reach out through the toes on your left foot. So you're getting a really long line along your left side body. Take one more big breath in and a full breath out. Good. Tricky transition. You're going to plant your left hand, lift your torso up just a little bit so you can thread your right arm over to the side. You're coming down onto your back. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. This is what I mean by having a little space on the floor today. And then make some big circles with the right knee. One direction and then the other direction. Feel your left leg heavy and long down across the mat. Half happy baby if that feels good, or you could stay with those knee circles. And check out what happens in the shoulders. Can you let them soften towards the earth? Option to take an Utthita Hasta variation here, where you loop your right big toe and send your right leg not directly out to the side, but out at a diagonal so that your left hip can stay on the earth. Good. Gently rebend your right knee. Bring your left hand outside your right knee. Pull it across your body for a twist. Take your time to scoot your bottom hip back. Maybe looking out over your right arm. It could be cactus on the floor or reached up and back with your right fingertips. Okay, we're going to take this bent leg, the top leg, the right leg. I'm going to send it down and to my left, sort of towards MC's hip. And I'm going to let that leg drag me. I'm going to let the weight of the right leg reach out to the right. Reach, 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 reach until I'm on my belly. Okay? Yeah. Sphinx pose. Wiggle around a little bit, or you can come back onto your mat. Spread your fingertips, spread your toes. And your neck is part of your spine, right? So if there's a little crack there where you start to crank the head up, check that out. Can you find length in the back of the neck? Two more breaths. And on your next exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. Rock your hips a little side to side. Option here is to rest, to come up for cobra, or to take locust pose. Whatever feels right here. You could interlace at your low back. You could bring your hands down by your sides. Or if you're in cobra pose, your hands are by your sides. You roll your shoulders onto your back and you gently lift away from the earth. Slow, deep breaths here. Lifting and lowering in your own timing. When you're ready, you can release. Press up to hands and knees. Find tabletop position. Lift your left arm up towards the sky. Take a big breath in. And then thread the needle back behind your right wrist. Your left ear can come down to the earth. Good, y'all. Stay for as long as you like. When your body tells you it's time to unwind, you can slowly reach up and out. And then hand to the earth, round your back. Wiggle it out a bit. Second side, when it's time, you'll lift your right arm up and then thread the needle behind your left wrist. And you're so welcome to play with this, to stretch your left leg back, to lift your left toes up. I like to reach my left arm forward past my left ear. Good, take your time to come back. Left hand plants in front of you. Inhale, sweep your right arm up and out. And exhale, hand to the floor. Walk your hands a little bit forward of your shoulders. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Slowly come forward to high plank. Exhale, you can lower chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Cobra or upward facing dog, lift up. And then slowly stretch back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, stretch your left leg up and back. Reach out through the ball of your left foot. Then exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Up on your fingertips, inhale, lengthen your spine, reach long. Long pyramid, exhale. You, the hands walk back so your spine can lengthen and your head can hang heavy. And see if you can just make a little space for your heart here. Your shoulders are softening down your back. Your heart is melting towards your left shin. Breathe into that space at the center of the chest. When you're ready, you can bend your left knee, drop your right knee to the earth, and then sweep your arms up for a low lunge. Good. And time to explore. You could interlace fingers above you. You could cactus your elbows. Feel the lower half of your body grounding down towards the earth, and your ribs, sternum, forehead lifting and opening. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, start to bow forward, hands sweep back by your hips, tuck your back toes, feel the earth under your left foot, airplane pose. All the way up to standing, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Hands interlace under your right thigh, let your shoulders slide down your back, flex your right foot out in front of you. Yeah, tall spine like you've got a wall right behind you supporting you. And then if you want to, you can release the leg, arms up, point your right toes. Good, soft jaw. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly standing splits, hands to the earth. Right leg up and back. There's so much space for you here. Like breathe into all of the space around your skin here. When you're ready, step your right foot back. Feel your hands plant to the earth. Left leg sweeps up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hips. You could stay here and breathe. You could flip your dog. Your hands and feet are in relationship with the earth, pressing down to feel it in both shapes. Good, when you're ready, left leg up and back. Squeeze it underneath you to the right tricep. And then thread it over to the right, fallen triangle. Right arm could reach up or past your right ear, whatever feels good for your spine here. Take a big inhale, and then we're gonna come all the way down onto your tush. Yeah. Let's just come to a forward fold, wide legs for a moment. So you're just gonna turn towards the back corner of your mat and fold over your legs here. What a nice thing it is to have space where if on one side your body gives you a different signal, that you can hear that and find it. And really listen there. If a side bend sounds good for you, you're welcome to fold over to one side and fold over to the other, or you could stay right at center here. Good, and whenever you feel ready for the side stretch, you'll lift back up. You've still got the fallen triangle legs, left leg up to the side, right leg back. Your left arm is gonna stretch out towards the top of the mat and take you down. Yeah, and then right arm reaches up, left fingertips are on the right wrist. Reach long and reach out with the toes and the ball of your right foot. One more deep breath in and out here. And when you're ready, you're going to press up on your right hand just a little bit to lift up so you can thread your left arm to the side and come all the way down onto your back, hugging your left knee in towards your chest. You might have to scoot a little over to get back on the mat, and then some circles with your left knee. Your right leg is long. Half happy baby, if that's calling to you here. And if it feels good, you could loop your left big toe or wrap a strap around your left foot and extend your left leg out to the side. Right hip staying rooted on the earth. Yeah, and you can very much do this variation without fully extending the leg. Good. Take your time to slowly bend that knee. You're going to pull it across the body with your right hand. You could even keep that leg straight if you wanted to. Coming into a twist on your back. Maybe gazing out over your left shoulder. And send some breath into the back space of your heart here. When you feel ready, you're going to take this top leg, left leg, you're going to stretch it out and down and let the weight of that leg pull you over all the way onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Mm-hmm. You can tuck your toes, move your knees back if you need a little space. If seal pose calls to you this time, hands point out towards the corner of the mat. You can extend your arms. If you're nursing a tenderness in your low back like I am this week, less is more here, but also your body's going to tell you. Maybe some gentle neck rolls here. Over to the left and over to the right and rolling through center. All the way down onto your belly. Rest right here or set up for bow pose. Bend your knees, reach back for your ankles. You could stay on the earth, hugging your heels toward your glutes, or you could press back with your shins and lift up. Feel your feet really pressing into your hands here. Good. Release, windshield wiper your feet side to side. And when you're ready, you'll press up through tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward, feet hips width or even a little wider. You can interlace fingers at your low back or cross the opposite elbows. Make some space for your belly to breathe. Let your heart soften. Head hangs in. Let your exhales help you to release down into the earth. When you're ready, bend your knees slowly, tuck your tail, and round all the way up to standing. Your head is the last thing to lift. Hook your thumbs, inhale, reach up, arch back. Exhale, Malasana. Hands through heart, toes out, heels in. Right hand down and forward, left arm up and back into the sky. Good, hands to the earth, crow pose or forward fold. If you're in forward fold, halfway lift. We'll all meet in chaturanga, so you can hop back from crow or step back and slowly lower down. Cobra or upward facing dog. And stretch it back to downward facing dog. Right leg up and back into the sky. Right foot steps forward, warrior two. Take your time to lift up. Flip your palms to the sky. Reach your right arm up and back. Left fingertips can come around your right wrist if that feels good. You can give yourself an extra little bit of length in your right side body. Take a deep inhale here. Half moon when you're ready. Press off your back foot. Reach your right arm out and forward. Left leg up and back. Or literally whatever else feels right to balance. Play with your dynamic breath here. When it feels right, chair pose, left foot meets the right. Deep inhale here. Exhale, sweep your arms back by your hips, torso parallel to the earth. Inhale, lift your torso, lift your arms. Exhale, sweep your arms back. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep it back. All the way up to standing. Inhale, reach up, arch back. Exhale, Malasana. Feet out wide. Hands through heart center. Good, left hand down and forward. Right arm up and back. And then your choice, crow pose or standing forward fold. Toes spin forward. If you're in forward fold, halfway lift. And we'll all meet in chaturanga. Or your variation of your flow today, landing you back in downward facing dog. Stretch your left leg up and back into the sky. Step your left foot forward, warrior two. Flip your palms, exalted warrior. Maybe right fingertips around your left wrist. Big breath in here. Exhale to half moon. Take your time. You're tipping over the axis of your left hip joint. Heart reaching out as a counterbalance to your right leg. Chair pose when it feels like time. Right foot meets the left. All the way up to standing, hands to your heart. Standing camel pose, hands to your lower back for support. Fingertips maybe point up. This might be plenty. For me, it feels like plenty today, right? Inner elbows hug together. And you lift belly, heart, throat. You could actually arc up and back. That may or may not be necessary, right? Check out if it's just sort of dropping into the low back or if you're finding some spaciousness. Throat reaches up towards the heavens. Take a big inhale. Exhale, slowly fold forward, round, round, round. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Your flow on the way back to downward facing dog. And you'll see that your flow might be no flow at all, right? So really just listening to what your body needs. Feet together. Forward onto your hands for side plank. Heels to the right. Lift your left arm up. You're welcome to take wild thing here. Stepping your left foot back. Arcing behind the heart. That's okay. Take the time that you need. Eventually your left hand's going to come down, left knee to left tricep. Squeeze it in close. Sweep your left leg up and back. Left tricep, squeeze it in. One more time. Inhale, up and back. Left shin forward across the top of the mat. Flex your left foot. Feel the outer blade of your left foot ground into the earth. Lifted pigeon. So you might walk your hands in. Open your heart up towards the sky. Same kind of energy as the standing camel pose, right? Lower body solid and the heart and throat get to lift. And when it feels like time, you can start to fold. Maybe bring your left shin a little bit more out in front of you. All pillows, blankets, and supports are welcome here. I feel like it actually took me like a decade to figure out that I didn't have to be uncomfortable all the time to be doing my practice, right? To be working hard. So just check it out. The impulse to be efforting, how beautiful that is, and whether there's a balance here. Big inhale and a full exhale. Good. And when you feel ready, you'll lift up just a little bit. And we're going to take a similar transition to what we did before. Your left arm is going to reach out long. And you're going to roll over onto your back, hugging your left shin in for reclined pigeon. You might have ended up on your neighbor's mat, no problem. Okay, lots of options here. You can, I'm going to try to show them to you upside down. You can loop your forearms underneath your shin. You can cradle the shin between your elbows. Or you can meet us in figure 4 pose, left ankle over right knee. If you are in reclined pigeon, check out how the right leg can weight down towards the earth and how that changes it. If you happen to be in like just such an adventurous mood today, and you want to take your right hand outside your left foot, and I'm not even going to pretend to demo this, okay? But my right arm would come back behind my head like a little cute pillow, and my right hand would be around my left foot, and I would be hanging out here. Yeah. Just like the most optional of all options. And the most joyful to get to say yes and to say no. Figure 4 is where we're going to meet. So when you're ready, hug that right knee in. Snuggle your left ankle over. And however you like, hands behind your thigh. You could stretch your right leg up and bend your elbows to hug the whole thing in towards you. If your lower back is feeling tender today, you can get a beautiful stretch by keeping your right foot on the earth and you're still in that figure 4 shape, opening your left knee out and down. And we're going to take a little bit of a funky twist. So you're going to keep this figure 4 shape. You're going to take your left foot down on your right side. Yep, and it just stretches a different part of the low back here. My left knee is kind of continuing to point up towards the sky, but play around with it. One more deep breath in and out. Good, going back through center. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Stretch your right leg out long. Extend your left leg up towards the sky. Fingers interlace behind your left thigh. Resist away from you as you flex your toes towards you. Good. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Hold the back of your thighs. Start to rock forward and back. Build a little momentum. We're coming up to chair pose or forward fold. Whatever feels like the path of least resistance here. All the way up to standing. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Loop your left big toe with peace sign fingers. And you're going to send your left leg out. Left leg comes out to the left, bent or straight. Right arm might reach somewhere in the right side. Crown of the head reaching up and right foot reaching down. Good, y'all come back through center. Release your left foot. Warrior 3. And then slowly step back to high lunge. Sweep your arms up. Warrior 2, open out to the side. Inhale, straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Warrior 2 to the front. Straighten your left leg, take an inhale. Triangle pose. This is when I love to grab my block for, or some supportive mechanism, a stack of books at your house. Pull your left tush back towards your right heel a little bit and lengthen out through your ribs, through your spine. Good, take a big breath in. Circle your right arm down and around, hands to the earth. Outer edge of your right foot, same side for side plank. This time, you can sweep the left leg up, loop your left big toe, or squeeze the legs together. Good, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. You could stay right here. You could come forward for a flow, or a big lion's breath out through your mouth. When you're ready, walk the inner edges of your feet together, back of the mat. Come forward, heels to the left for side plank. Any expression, maybe wild thing here. Take your time with whatever you're playing with. And when it feels right, right hand to the earth, right knee to right tricep. Sweep it up and back. Right knee to right tricep. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, sweep up and back. Right shin forward. Lifted pigeon to start. Maybe a block underneath your right bum cheek. Yeah. Tailbone reaching down towards the earth a bit. Find some length in your upper body. And when it feels like time, sleeping pigeon. And if you're feeling stuck or trapped in this shape or any shape, see if you can encounter that feeling, right? Acknowledge that it's there. I'm feeling stuck. This is feeling limited. And can you invite yourself to literally just make something up, right? To make up a variation where you move from this starting point, but don't consider it where you were trying to be. Is there a way to bend your back leg? Is there a way to take your arms wider? Is there a way to cushion yourself with pillows all across your chest? Not as a compromise, right? As like literally the most joyful way of honoring that there is space for your body here. We feel like we already have enough places in our lives where we're not encouraged to ask questions. And I have a lot of feelings about my Jewish upbringing. It was so culturally beautiful. And also there's some doctrine in Judaism and the religions of the book that are challenging for me. But the one thing that has deeply stuck with me is this encouragement in the Jewish traditions of asking questions. Like in the Jewish faith, almost to like a ridiculous point. Like there are just so many questions. And also it's so beautiful because the message there is room for every single question. Every single question you're asking, every single piece of wisdom that is passed down, whether it be bodily or intellectual or emotional, there is room to explore. And what a gift that is. When you feel ready, you're going to lift up just a little bit. You're going to thread your right arm forward and roll over onto your back until your right shin is in your chest, belly somewhere, in reclined pigeon on your back. And then any number of those sort of ways of hugging the right shin in. Flex your right foot to protect your right knee. These super graceful transitions. And maybe a little rock side to side. At any point, you're welcome to meet us in figure 4.
I said mute us.
Squeezing the left leg in, maybe in figure 4 when you're ready, or you could stretch your left leg long. Check it out, side body length. What's available there on the right and on the left? And at some point, your left foot is going to come down to the earth in your figure 4 shape. And your right foot will slowly reach over until it comes down to the earth for the twist. Looking over your right shoulder. At some point, and any point if you want to mute us rather than meet us. Just a gentle elongation along this diagonal line. Down through your right knee, out through your right fingertips. And how we unwind any twist is by finding the relationship to what's underneath, melt down into it, and slowly let everything hug back in through center. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest, send your left leg long. Interlace fingers behind your right thigh, stretch your right leg up. You can pull it close to your body, you can resist your leg away from you. Long spine across your mat. Then when you're ready, hug both knees in towards your chest. Hold the back of your thighs. Rock forward and back gently. You're building a little bit of momentum. Coming up to chair pose or forward fold, or however you like to get there. Go ahead, eventually sit back for chair. And then as you come up to standing, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Loop your right big toe with peace sign fingers. You could hold it right here. You could extend your right leg out. Right leg comes out to the right. Maybe left arm reaches out to the left. Back through center. Gently release. Sweep it back. Warrior 3. Bend your front knee, high lunge, step back. Warrior two, open to the side. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Stop in the middle here, toes in, heels out. Your hands can come to your hips or interlace at your low back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, slowly fold forward. You can have hands by your ears, sort of chaturanga arms. You could set up for tripod headstand here. You could take down dog arms, walking the hands forward and melting your heart like puppy dog pose towards the earth. Inhale to a halfway lift. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up towards the sky. And then turn your right foot open to the front. Reach out for triangle pose. The back foot turns in just slightly. Circle your left arm down and around. Hands come to the earth. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot, side plank. You can loop your right big toe. You can step your right foot back, or step the right foot halfway down the mat. High plank when you're ready. You're welcome to take a flow here or lift back to downward facing dog. Knees to the earth, seat to heels for child's pose. You might like to rest right here or set up for some inversion. Dolphin pose, forearms to the earth, push up towards the sky. Or headstand, interlacing your fingers, wrapping your elbows around your outer ears. It's an exploration of building anytime you're inverting, right? So you're finding what connects to the earth. Maybe it's the setup for headstand or forearm stand. You're breathing into that and seeing what kind of length you can find in your spine. And that actually lets you know whether it's time to explore more deeply into the inversion or pause right there and breathe. If inverting is not your jam today, you can stand up on your shins for camel pose, hands to your lower back. Take your time and do your variations, resting by sitting back towards child's pose from an inversion, or sitting back on your heels, tucking your chin to your chest after camel pose. And then when you're ready, we're gonna make a choice about finding a heart opener and back opener here. So option one is to take Virasana, sitting back between the heels, press the flesh back from your knees and recline back over a bolster or a block. Option two, if your knees are not having that today, right, for like a million great reasons, you can come with me. We're gonna take maybe some pillows, maybe some blocks, maybe some other doodahs, right? Laying it back so that you can lay back with your spine over like some sort of support behind you and your heart is a little bit lifted up. Yeah, so feel free to grab your pillows, grab your block, roll up your blanket. You can lie back. Your hips are probably resting on the earth here and your block might be long ways behind your heart, cactusing your elbows. I like to bend my knees, soles of the feet together here, but you could also stretch the legs out. So some variant of supported fish. Yeah, where your throat can really soften open. Where you can feel the ground underneath your pelvis. And feel the skin across the front of your hips really widen and soften here. Maybe some soft exhales out through your mouth. And you have a totally true and sincere invitation to stay right here if it's feeling good. If you feel like you'd like to explore bridge or wheel today, you could gently roll to your side and slide the bolsters and blocks out from under you and come all the way down onto your back. If supported fish is perfect and that's the heart opener you need today, you might stay right here where you are. If you're coming into those active back bends, we're just keeping some remembrance of the softness that is allowed when there's a support behind your heart. So even as you're lifting up with some effort, there's a little bit of a melt of your shoulder blades behind your heart and a softening open of the front of your chest. Come to rest if you've been lifting up into a heart opener. Take your time with it. Maybe windshield wiper your knees side to side. And eventually we'll all release off the pillow all the way down onto your back. You could take a happy baby pose, this time squeezing both knees in, or any other poses that feel right to complete your practice here. Reclined Gomukhasana, one knee on top of the other, or rocking up to a seated forward fold. Just take the next 2 to 3 minutes. Shoulder stand series. Anything else that your body is curious about? Yeah, moving with your breath. And when your body tells you that it's time to move towards your resting position, you might like to come over to a wall to do legs up the wall or legs over the couch, which is our quarantine version of that, right? If that doesn't work for your room or for your body today, any version of a resting position, Shavasana with legs long, or Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide on your back. And give yourself the space to take 3 conscious breaths in and out. Let there be some gentleness in what you're encountering as you're breathing through your body. These practices are a nectar I share with you. Drink from this cup whenever you are thirsty or crave to be refreshed in the essence of life. Know that this ambrosia is available to you everywhere, for the universe is made of it. Simply go to the intersection of flesh and spirit. Breathe the tiny sparks that fly. Within this very body are many gateways to the infinite, where incarnation and immortality consummate their passion for each other. Friends, relatives, neighbors, people who abide in your village, be not concerned with their attitudes towards these teachings. Everyone is discovering the intimate universe in their own way. This nectar is here, within every breath, every desire, every transition from waking to sleeping and sleeping to waking. Once you have set out on the path of intimacy with the essence of life, never turn your back on it. Never turn away. Though every moment be surprising, revelatory, unrecognizable, and full of wonder, continue to cherish each breath. Live in gratitude for the ambrosia we imbibe in each turning, out breath to in breath, into out breath. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. And just notice the space that your breath is occupying in your body now, where it can fill, where it can open. And you'll take all of the time that you need to roll around, to make your way up to a seat when you feel ready. And not just any seat, but your seat, the seat of your own power, a seat that exists inside of your own body, that's meant for you in your practice, in your unique unfolding. So today is a big day because we read all the way through all 112 Radiant Sutras. So we've been studying this for months together. And I'll read you the very last part. We're at the very last sutra. Devi replies, "You whose drum is the pulse of creation, you whose dance is the motion of all worlds, you who are more intimate than my very breath. I am suffused with satisfaction. My questions have led to fullness. You have sung to me of the ways of union of the goddess with her god, time and space, personal and impersonal, energy and form. You have sung the song of being at home in the universe." Having said that, the goddess, radiant with delight, embraces her lover. So there's a part 2, which is invitations and illuminations, which we can get into, which are a little bit different, but we made it all the way through the sutras together, which I think is really kind of exceptional. And what an amazing year and time to have been practicing and learning from these sutras about joy and pleasure, right? Such an important year to be finding that in the midst of all of our work. And so in honor of that, we're going to start a new deck today because we've made it kind of all the way through the archetype deck. We've been doing it for a year. And so today sort of feels like we're completing in some way, and we're never completing. We're just usually starting again, right? So we're going to start with the Animal Spirit Wild Unknown deck today. And it's my deepest intention that we'll spend another year together pulling from this deck. Okay. So we'll start, and this is such a beautiful earth medicine deck. I'm so honored to have gotten to study the archetypes with y'all, and many of those archetypes show up in this animal medicine. So I think it informs, right? Always what we're studying now informs what we will be studying. And we never even know that we're preparing for something, and then suddenly there we are. And somehow we know that we're meant to be there. So our first card is the Starfish card. It's a beautiful, sweet starfish. And there's sort of these concentric circles in the pattern of the starfish. So I'll read to you. This is organized by element, this deck. So this is the water element. No more room in numerals for us, everybody. Okay. Yeah. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. These creatures do become reliant on how they look, and it's sometimes for so long that they forget their deeper calling. When this card appears, it's important to ask, how am I being swayed by what is outward? What dreams have I put aside to please others? Yeah. So I think there's a beautiful invitation here to get curious about how we explore uplifting, artistic, expressive qualities that exist within, right? And that our outsides become an expression of those things. But when it's just focused on the external manifestation, we lose the connection to the root, right? The ley line that connects us to where all of that comes from. There is so much beauty to be had on the outside, but the truest of that comes from a glowing from the inside out, right? And the starfish is this way, right? We see one thing on top, but there's something completely different at the center that is making it so, right? That is growing that skeleton, that is expanding out. So this is really such a beautiful invitation to notice when we're being pulled and swayed by what's happening externally, and how we find our way back to the essence, to the nectar that exists within, and let that help us to reorient priorities wise to what we're focusing on, what we're working on, what the practice is intended to nourish, right? It does indeed nourish this body and this outside part. And there are deeper goals of the practice, right? That we reach for, that we work on. So it's such an honor to be with y'all. Thank you so much for the sweetness of your commitment and your practice. I love you all dearly.